Howdy, it's G-Money here. I'm welcoming you back to Jailbait and Tackle Outdoors. Today we're going to talk a little bit about shrimp. Uh, there's a lot of things about shrimp that many people do not know. So I'm going to try and share some little bit of knowledge that I have. Trust me, there's not a whole lot up here, but there is a little bit from time to time. So basically what we have here are live shrimp that I put in a bag. You can go into a bait shop and you can ask for a dozen or 2 dozen shrimp, whatever amount you want. You can ask for them dry. Put them in a bag. They're still going to have moisture to them. Seal the baggie, and you can put them on ice, and your shrimp are going to live for a long time. A lot of people do not realize that. So that's like another little fishing tip of the day. It kind of puts them in a coma-like state. If you've watched any of my videos where I talk about blue crabs, you can put the blue crabs on ice, and it puts them just like in a coma, like I said before. So one of the things I want to talk about in this video is there's a term here in Southwest Florida. I don't know how far this term stretches, but there's a term, and it's called summer shrimp. Summer shrimp means that the shrimp are smaller, and I'm going to tell you why they are smaller. The shrimp generally prefer, you can see they're probably jumping around here a little bit. Let me change the angle while I'm doing this. God, fellas, ugly. But so anyway, summer shrimp basically means that the shrimp are smaller in the summertime, and I'm going to tell you the reasons for that. Shrimp, this would be not considered a large shrimp, as you can see, but it's very fishable. It would be a real good sized shrimp for snapper and what have you. But what happens is the shrimp go to deeper water. So I'm on the west coast of Florida, basically Fort Myers, Naples area. So the shrimp like to go out to deeper, cooler waters. In the Gulf of Mexico, it does not get real deep real quickly like it would on the east coast of Florida, like off Fort Lauderdale or something like that on that coast. So obviously we have less tourists. Some people would call them snowbirds in the summertime. So therefore, the local shrimpers have less demand, so they're not going to go as far to catch their shrimp. So a lot of times you get very, very small shrimp like that, which might be inch and a quarter, inch and a half. That would be considered a summer shrimp. And some people who are not like locals or not familiar with this region or new to the area, maybe just coming in on vacation, they get very upset when they see that you're selling small shrimp like that because they feel like you're scamming them. It's just the cycle of life of a shrimp. These would be considered summertime shrimp. Now we're going to move on to different things. There's a term for it would be like your select shrimp. That's called hand-picked shrimp. So even in the summertime, you may get some that are big like this or even bigger. See, Henry don't want to go fishing. He thinks we're about to fixing to go fishing, but it's all good. So this would be considered a hand-picked shrimp. This and larger. The shrimp, sometimes in the wintertime, the hand-picked shrimp can get as big or even longer than like a hot dog, really big, longer than my fingers. I don't have long fingers. You know what they say about that, people with short fingers. But anyway, so a hand-picked shrimp, the way they describe it's been described to me over the years. It's if you lay a shrimp across your four fingers, if it extends past your four fingers, that would be considered a hand-picked shrimp. So in this case, Henry he would qualify as a hand-picked shrimp. So now the other thing we're going to talk about related to shrimp is they have I forget the term. I think it's called exoskeleton or something like that. It means like they don't have an internal skeleton like we do. It's on the exterior, so that would be their shell. So the shrimp tend to go through a molting cycle, which they uh, evacuate their existing shell, kind of like a soft shell crab would do. Whoops, these guys not too happy with me. Hold on. I'm going to put these guys back in the bag. Uh, just keep them subdued. But so the shrimp go through a like a molting cycle, and I don't know this 100% verbatim, but I know that it does occur. I don't know this how often, but basically on a full moon cycle, that's when the shrimp tend to uh, go through their molting cycle. So when that occurs, your shrimp are real soft. They're if they're captured in a net, you just picture. I don't know if how many people out there know what the process is for a shrimper when they have a big long net and they're dragging it behind their boat. Uh, they end up getting like thousands of pounds worth of shrimp. Well, the problem is when you have that much weight on shrimp that are barely alive with no hardly any shell, you're kind of crushing them, so to speak. You're putting too much weight on them. A lot of the shrimpers kind of forget that during, like, the next full moon is going to be August 1st, which I believe is Tuesday. So a lot of times your yield of live shrimp when it's delivered to a bait shop is not as plentiful as when they have their new hard shell. It's been told to me through a little bit of research. It takes about 3 days for them to grow back their hard shell, and then now their chance of survival and longevity is going to be much greater when they have a hard shell. So I'm trying to think, am I missing anything else? Uh, Sometimes I am asked at the bait shop, can you eat those live shrimp? Absolutely. They're live Florida pink Gulf shrimp. You can eat those shrimp. The commercial shrimp that we get delivered to us in frozen bags, it'll tell you right on the bag it's not for human consumption. And the reason that is sometimes these are the dead leftover shrimp that have passed away that were once alive. Not all of those shrimp are always uh, captured. If I was trying to search for a word, but not all of those shrimp are harvested. Is probably a better word, just to be frozen shrimp. So I would not use frozen shrimp that's from a commercial company for human consumption. Live shrimp, I've done it numerous times. I used to get the big hand picks, and as an employee, I was only paying $4 a dozen. I would cut the head off, put it in a bowl of water. I always had butter in our little refrigerator at the bait shop and Old Bay. So I would boil the water, boil the shrimp, boom, 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 peel the shell, and you have 12 beautiful shrimp on a very low budget. That's really good. It would be very difficult for you to walk into a bait shop this time of year to do that. But it's the same damn shrimp that you're getting at the seafood market, and it's a hell of a lot cheaper. So I hope you enjoyed this little chit chat, us talking about shrimp. Now I'm very hungry. I think I bought a TV, no, I call it TV dinners, a frozen meal that has some shrimp scampi in it. So I think I may be throwing down on some shrimp scampi today. What say you folks? Hope you guys enjoy tuning in to Jailbait and Tackle from time to time. Jailbait and Tackle Outdoors. As you see, we're outdoors. So that's what it's all about. Exploring the great outdoors. It's a beautiful day. It's partly cloudy and it's not too hot yet, but it's going to get there. We're definitely going to be in the 90s again. Thanks again, and remember, folks, always know your legal limits.